Hi everyone, it's me, Man Alone. Welcome to Man Alone's solo role-playing YouTube channel. If you followed for a while, you know that usually at the start of a video, I usually come in swinging. You know, I usually have a little bit of razzmatazz, moxie, swagger. I'm doing bits. I'm making jokes. None of that, none of that is happening on this video. And why? Well, because I've been sitting here for the last 17 hours alone, staring at this book, wondering how did I get here? How is this happening? How am I making this video right now? But I owe it to all of you to be honest. Even though it is entirely possible that what I have to say in this video, it's going to make I'm going to lose at least half of my subscribers. The other half will stay on just to pursue some sort of class action lawsuit against me. I guess for bad taste, maybe? Or, okay, where to begin? This video, I'm going to get right to it. In this video, I contend that the Walking Dead universe role-playing Core Rules by Free League is the best core rules book that Free League has in their collection. I also believe it is one of the most well-written role-playing game rule books I've ever read in my life. Okay, now I'm going to give you a few minutes if you want to pause. I know that some of you probably are like adjusting your computer screen, you're yelling to the other room, honey, I think, is the internet down again? I think we're getting some interference on, I'm watching my best friend Man Alone here, and there must be some mistake, right? You're adjusting your hearing aid. It's making a little whistling sound. I don't think I heard that right. Some of you right now are wondering, did I accidentally take my cat's medicine today? Am I loopy? And then others of you, you're not even watching anymore. You're already out on the front lawn. You're on your knees screaming at the heavens. You've ripped the collar of your shirt. Why? Why would you do this, Man Alone? Why would you say this? I thought we understood each other. Some of you might be saying, I thought we were friends. How could you do this to me? So a smaller group of people within that Venn diagram are saying, how could you do this, Man Alone? I thought we were best friends. I thought we were going to be roommates, that we were going to rent a 2-bedroom apartment where one of the rooms me and you have our bunk beds, and then in the other room is just our solo role-playing room. And to that group specifically, I want to say there are two major problems with what you said. The first one is you have a dangerously unstable parasocial relationship with me, but moreover, how could you and I, as theoretical hypothetical roommates, which we're not going to be, I want to make that clear, we're not going to be roommates, but why would we both have a solo role-playing room? Wouldn't that make it a dual role-playing room? Okay. The other thing is, if we have bunk beds, I'm not doing the rock, paper, scissors thing. I would get top bunk. We're not going to have bunk beds, but I'm saying if this okay, let's get back to the game. I did not ever think I would buy this game. This was so low. You get it? On my role-playing game list to buy. Even though I'm a Free League stan, I'll buy anything Free League puts out, right? If Free League was like, hey, we've teamed up with Orville Redenbacher. We're going to make some Mutant Year Zero popcorn, I'd be like, how ridiculous. I'd buy 5 bags. Even with that being true, I had no interest in this. Couple of reasons why. Number one, as is well documented on this channel, I hate playing role-playing games in universes that are like established in television or movies. The Walking Dead, it's unparalleled how well the canon is established, right? You have a graphic novel series, you have the main series, you have like 37 spin-offs, right? Right now there's like Walking Dead, The College Years, Walking Dead 90210, Walking Dead Special Victims. You know, I don't even know anymore. Does anyone know? Does anyone watch The Walking Dead? Right? Because if you're anything like me, you were interested in the show. Maybe you even read like the Walking Dead wiki at one point and be like, do we know anything more about Merle, Daryl's brother? But then somewhere around season 5, 4, 6, I don't know, you just stopped. And so did everybody. I actually remember sitting on my couch watching Walking Dead like I always did, you know, whatever day of the week it was on. And out loud, I said, I don't care what happens to any of these characters. And I wasn't angry. There was no malice. I wasn't frustrated with them. It was a moment of like pure admitting honesty to myself. I don't care what happens. I don't care if Daryl and Carol, which, come on. I don't care if is that a romantic thing? Are they friends? Is his crossbow their child? I don't care. There was a guy named the King or something, and he had a big lion and spoke in Shakespeare. I don't know. I think the series is over. But I don't really know, and I don't care to find out. So it is literally one of the most, in terms of television series, never before, never will there be again a series that has a title that so perfectly describes on a meta level its sort of social cultural saturation. Like the show died around season 5, and it just kept walking. It's still walking. It's still walking. I think they have Walking Dead Muppets. That would actually rule. So okay, so there's that. I don't like playing in established universes. This one has a very established universe that I don't really care about anymore. And this one, I mean, the sort of fears of being boxed in by an IP are very, very immediately real here. I think there's a short campaign called The Golden Ambulance in here. Yeah. And right at the beginning, it says, this short survival mode scenario takes place between season 2 and 3 of The Walking Dead in a town called Alfred Spring, just outside Atlanta. I don't know what happened between season 2 and 3. I don't remember. Was Eugene there yet? I don't remember. So now you could say, and I know there are people who would say, well, who cares? Don't worry about that. But I just want you to know that, like, last night I was working on my special surprise for all of you that I actually wanted to reveal in this video, but I did upload it to SoloRPG, and I was going to link it. It is I had created a year 0 plus 1 solo engine for using the year 0 dice pool mechanic as like a solo oracle. I'm actually I'm actually pretty, I don't want to get too derailed, but I'm really excited about it. And I should I'll do a separate video on this, but it's pretty short. I'm going to, I think, sell it for like $3, but I have like, instead of complications, I have like scene mutations, which I think is pretty cool. And boy, what a humbling experience. I have a real problem with creative procrastination in writing RPG games and stuff. And so my goal with this was just to write it and not get bogged down in like spending 3.5 hours resizing a Excel table or something like that, and just write. And I think I did a good job on that. But even so, I really was itching to spend 3 hours trying to, get a font just right. And what I'm trying to say here is that just saying, forget it, I don't have to worry about what's between season 2 and 3, I can't let it go. I would never be able to let it go. I would always be thinking about it. I would always be thinking about, like, am I going to set something up here that later in the campaign is, going to run into a conflict because I thought a character was alive and they're dead or whatever it is. Okay. So I'm giving you the layout of all the reasons why I didn't want this. Don't like the show. Don't like working off of an IP. It's quite thin and it's expensive. So some of you who are very charitable are probably saying, well, Man Alone probably got this for free from Free League. And I did. Not this. I didn't get this. I got the PDF. They sent the PDF so that I could take a look at it. I already had it. And I bought with my own money this hardcover book. Okay, so something is wrong. And maybe you're saying, oh, I know what it was. The Free League summer sale is going on right now. Maybe you pick this up with a summer sale. Hey, what's a couple bucks, just to complete your Free League? I paid full price for this. Okay, I am well. I am not. There's nothing wrong with me. I'm not having a midlife crisis. I bought this because I believe it is an excellently written role-playing game. Okay. So that's my 12-minute intro. And let me just with that preamble out of the way, the reason I looked at this in the first place was because I was trying to make this Year Zero solo adaptation. I wanted to look at various Year Zero permutations, right? And I opened up Walking Dead. I said, because each Free League game has like a little bit different Year Zero setup, right? And so I just wanted to see how they did this. And as I was scrolling through the PDF, I was like, holy hell, this book is like what I want every role-playing game. This is the layout that I want every role-playing game to do. Okay. So let me talk about why. First of all, it is this big. It's thin. Okay. Coriolis is probably 2 of these. And Coriolis, I think, is a really good comparison point for this. Because let me just say right up front, I love Coriolis. I love the story. I'm playing 2 campaigns of Coriolis right now. One of them as a player and one as a GM. I play it 2 nights a week. Okay. I love Coriolis. And with that being said, Coriolis has, it is one of the most rules-wise frustrating Free League games I've played, just in terms of like, the rules are not intuitive. The layout of it is very strange. They jump around back and forth. It's like I'm always searching through the index of it. I can never find the right table that I'm looking for. There's so much lore and backstory that I almost feel like they should have like put out a companion book with it. And don't get me wrong, I love that narrative and backstory. I made a whole video about how much I love the Coriolis universe. I mean, it's where the term Free League came from. And I love playing in it, but my God, it's got so much to it that I almost feel like I'm playing functionally in an IP. In fact, it's even worse because, if I'm playing Walking Dead with a group of people, there could be the same level of sort of like, fog of war about what happened in season 2 or 3, and we can kind of just, gloss over and hand wave things. The players I play with, they all read the same book. Right? There's no separated GM guide, player's guide. And so I feel more cornered in Coriolis than I do if I were to play, One Ring or anything that is base Alien, stuff like that. Right. And so anyways, I do feel like immediately upon opening this, I was like, whoa, 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 what do we have here? I did not expect this. I did not expect this because the first introduction I had to this RPG was a video, I think it was maybe 2 years ago now, by Dave Thomivor, who I consider one of the best reviewers on YouTube, bar none. I don't think he always gets it right, but I think his reviews are excellent. His delivery is excellent. His level of thoughtfulness is really good. And he had one of the funniest videos. I couldn't even believe he made the video. It was such a confident conclusion that he had when this came out. And I still remember the screen cap for the vid. It had like the Kickstarter preview. Actually, I think, let me find that. 1 second. Okay, right. So it had like this Kickstarter picture, and there were arrows all over it. He put arrows everywhere where it said AMC, and you can't even really see this because it's small, but there's like 5 places. And I remember the title of Dave Thomivor's video, which was so fire, was "Is Free League going to be all right?" And his video was like, "Is Free League doing okay as a company, or are they just like snatching up every IP that becomes available?" Walking Dead is the perfect example of like an IP that everybody knows about, but nobody, well, I can't say nobody, but like I don't know anyone that cares about it anymore. Like what I would compare it to, and it's so weird on my YouTube channel. I think this is the 25th time I've mentioned a band that I don't give a crap about, but it's sort of the Red Hot Chili Peppers problem. I can recognize 10 songs by Red Hot Chili Peppers. I know what the lead singer looks like, or at least I know what he looked like in like 1996. I cannot name one of their albums. I always see t-shirts. I always see they go on tour. I've never met anyone who loves the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I've never met anyone who can't wait to go to their concert, collects their merch, buys their shirts. Everybody knows them, but I don't know any Red Hot Chili Peppers super fans. Okay, and it's the same thing with Walking Dead. And so his video was this very, very interesting. When he made it, I actually couldn't believe it, but it was this idea: is this company going to be all right, or are they just desperate? Which that video actually led to another video he did with Thomas Herenstam, who is in this the project management. I think Thomas might be oversee Free League as a whole. I'm not sure about that. I got to check, but. Then they talked it out, and it's not like there was a conflict. It was just that he interviewed him and got a better idea of like Free League's sort of creative and business direction. And then I only found this out today. 6 months ago, Dave Thomivor posted another video that was like, "Hey, all that stuff I said before, push it aside. This is an awesome game." And this is, I saw that video of his. Well, I didn't watch the video, but I saw the screen cap as almost the exact same moment where I was having this realization as well, to say that as far as the visual experience, the reader experience of this role-playing game, I think that every person that wants to write an RPG should look from cover to cover in this book. It is so intuitively laid out. The spacing of it is outstanding. The pictures are excellent. They're paintings that are so well done. The sequencing of everything, excellent. The amount of tables and tools, just the right guidance, perfect explanation of the year zero system, excellent NPC availability, excellent explanations on setting up havens and factions, archetypes, extremely clear, talents, skills, everything extremely clearly laid out. A system of anchors where you have to pick, like at all times, you have one NPC that is an anchor to you, and one PC that is an anchor to you. And what you're able to do then with that, if I could find this, is you set up a sort of like networked web of your relationships. And because you're working off of it's like the show. You're not just one person, you have this whole commune, and the way that they adapted that, and just the way that they really nailed this, and somehow not only nailed, you know, accommodating the rule system to the fictional universe, but also like using year zero, right? And so not a lot of stuff that we don't expect in here, other than the fact that it's just like the amount of things that when I was learning, for instance, let me take a look, Coriolis or One Ring, that I would have to like reread or I would forget while I'm playing, are so well laid out in here. And I don't know if it's like more recent, maybe that's it. It's like they're just sort of honing their craft here. But everything in this book is just so spot on. I wanted to play it. They do duels really well. They have a whole brawl system that works awesome. Damage and healing, critical injuries table, messing up while stabilizing, hazards, gear, traps, diseases, vehicles, weapons. All of this stuff, there's no mystery to any of this. The way that they, even these critical injuries, they have them listed in terms of the recovery from them. They have like time limit, and if you there's like B injuries and A injuries, and so like B injuries are like you have to have basic medical gear, and A you need advanced medical gear to resolve them. And it's just this like simple, smart system of organizing things. And there's so all the fat has been trimmed. Everything you're looking for is right here. And as you know, as a solo player, when I have clean, clear tables on almost every page, vehicle movements, ramming, damage to a vehicle, fighting the dead, right? Because there's this different system in here of like fighting other people and fighting walkers, threat levels, walker attacks table. I mean, this is gold for solo play. And then you have this excellent thing on setting up your haven, like different examples, everything's so concise, how to run the game, the core concepts, factions, examples of everything, straight to the point. So much focus on like how to run a session, travel. Look at this: weather, ruins, wilderness, NPC encounters. I mean, are you seeing it yet? NPCs and animals. Watching the campfire. That's how they explain like being a game master. So the game master stuff is all included in here. There's like a survival mode and sort of a seasonal mode, and maps, factions, like brief overviews of all the factions with issues and everything. I mean, compare this to Coriolis, where you like how many pages and pages do you have to read on like the Zenithians or the First Come? And so, yeah, this small campaign here, I'm sure that do a little bit better on that. But I was blown away by this. And then, to top it all off, we're already on page 142. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but starting on page 142 is where the best stuff is. You have an appendix, which lists all different types of the past of the walker. So if it is a D66... this walker is, let's say, a 33. They were a nanny. 34, a goth teenager. Walker's wounds, empty rooms, random locations. Look at this. NPCs. So they have these ready-made NPCs, and then they have this NPC generator. Scavenging. And then comes the solo tools. So we haven't even gotten to the solo tools yet. All of that stuff that I just showed you was not even in the solo tools. That was game master information, or player, I suppose, but probably GM. I have almost at my fingertips, I have everything I need. Even for the first time, I felt like I wanted to play with like the stress mechanic, because now I don't like the step dice system with year zero, but you have a stress mechanic. Yes, you're going to have to deal with the fact that this works best if you buy the proprietary dice. I think they're like $15 or you could buy the starter set for 30 or something on Amazon. But the stress dice are making sense to me now, right? If you accumulate stress, which you get from pushing your roll, or if you experience like a terrible event, you get an extra die to add to your pool. And this die can actually help you succeed because stress like heightens your performance. But also, if you roll, they call it, I think, rolling a walker, which every time I read that, I hear Walker, Texas Ranger. Then you have, you get, overwhelmed or shattered, or you have some sort of, demotivation. And then there's also these things because of these anchors. If like one of the person who's your anchor dies, you have a breaking point. And then you need to face your fear. And I think I know how you feel about this. But if you're somebody who, especially interested in year zero, or you just want to see an RPG, what it looks like when you can really get your claws sunk into an RPG quickly, please pick up this book. I am so glad I did. This is going to be a resource for me for years to come. And then in the solo supplement, compare this to some of the other solo supplements, even in Free League. Okay, things are looking familiar here right off the bat, though. The challenge sheet. Solo play introduces a challenge sheet in addition to the character and Haven sheet. This is designed to help the solo player keep track of important plot points such as NPCs, factions, issues, rumors, challenges in the end game. You can find the challenge sheet at the back of this book. So there is this challenge sheet. I think it's before the index included. This is going to help you track your issues, rumors, has clocks on these rumors, challenges, endgame, factions, NPCs. This is your Haven sheet to keep track of your Haven. And what the sense you get almost immediately is that whoever made this supplement, they wanted to make a good ass solo supplement. And sometimes when I see solo supplements, especially when I see them as part of like Kickstarters, is like, oh, I mean, they just did this with the Great Dark. So hopefully the new Coriolis game. So hopefully they repeat the approach with this. It can feel grafted on. And I think reading this too, I start to understand a little bit more about maybe some of the criticisms that people might have of the Dragonbane solo supplement, not because it's bad, but just because it could have been taken a lot farther. Farther's comparison, further denotes an antecedent point of reference. Okay, whatever. So there's instructions on tweaking character creation right off the bat. There's a companion. Okay. I embarrassed to say that I created this whole companion system in my Dragonbane supplement, which, by the way, the cover art is in. It looks unbelievable, so that should be on the horizon as well sometime this summer. The Oracle, or you can use the Man Alone Year Zero Oracle, just saying. Then you have a theme Oracle. 6 themes, 6 different columns of D66 themes. And it says, sometimes you may need to make sense of situation. Perhaps you need more detail. Whatever you are stuck in this way, roll D, Mark of the Beast on the Oracle below. Use the hundreds die to determine which column to use and the D66 result to determine the row. And these are things like confrontation, darkness, contamination, terror, trauma. Then there's the messing up Oracle, which is like mishaps, progress clocks. Then there's a whole section. I mean, when's the last time you've seen this in a solo supplement? How to prepare your game. Do you want to play free or seasonal play? Chapter 7 lists 2 different campaign types. Solo play results in procedural campaigns that are not decided in advance. That said, solo campaigns are modeled closely to season play. It can help to think of your game in terms of beginning, middle, and end, but don't set the equivalent of a session limit. The end game will emerge after you play for a while. More on this later. You have the relationship table, and this This is something that I think I want to put in every solo session that I do that has a narrative component to this. Of course, like, you're not going to have this in For Against Darkness, but For Against Darkness is like somewhere between a solo role-playing game and a board game. I'll just say that, and I'll just leave that out there. Haven creation, creating factions, special rumors for solo play, a way to determine where your settlement is, issues and challenges in your settlement, and then specifically how to start the game, and then a sector map for walkers and likelihood that you will run into them that carries through from session to session and sort of like adjust the odds as you go through it. It's a completely, I mean, it's a very basic thing, but it's a completely new thing they added. There's a whole section here on how to structure your solo session. This is somebody who cares about this, right? I mean, how often when we get solo instructions, is it just like, yeah, you know how to do this. Basically, instead of a GM, just use this oracle. Here's a couple tables, pack a sandwich, go away. Exploring buildings in solo mode. When NPCs go on runs and return, there's a chance they'll come back with a rumor. So like you have this whole system of sending out NPCs. So there's this like stronghold management thing here. Player facing opposed roles, solo combat. What to do in outnumbered attacks, soloing the swarm. And then a whole section on how to generate an endgame. I mean, I don't know what to say. Like, I want to play this. I want to play this. I don't even care that it's Walking Dead. Look at this. Sample endgames. So the themes you rolled at the beginning were abandonment and nihilism. Source, a new hostile faction. Endgame, a group of elite soldiers who have abandoned all hope after their haven was destroyed by a ruthless faction, move into the area. Their nihilistic mission is to wipe out every haven they come across. Can your haven survive? I mean, that's just like, that's something okay, if you're watching this right now and you are new to soloing, if you can, try to get a PDF, buy a PDF from Free League of this, just to take a look at it, because this is the word I'm looking for. I think is succinct. This is an extremely succinct rule book that has extremely succinct solo rules and extremely succinct everything else. And when you're just start solo playing, you need succinct. You need to understand the elements of the game. And again, I have to say, I feel like the normal way I would expect to feel when I'm playing an IP related game is boxed in. And this feels like they're just giving me the seeds. It's the clockwork god, right? You're just giving me the gears and then I will set them into motion. Now, one thing I will make fun of in this game, because I have to make fun of something, is I don't know who picked the quotes for this game, but these quotes are so bad. like, we won't get weak. That's not in us anymore. We'll make it work. Rick Grimes. There is a box on Can I Play as Rick? And I think this actually, you know what? This is actually good to read. I'm going to read this. This is good. Most often you will play a player character that is not one of the characters from the TV series, even though you may stumble upon places, people, or events once featured on screen during the course of the game. Though there is nothing stopping you from creating your own version of one of the main characters, it's your job to create rich and relatable player characters that inspire you to imagine yourself in their shoes. Real people with feelings, ideals, flaws, dreams, and destinies. Many of these things have already been decided for the character we know and love from TV, so while it may be fun to cross paths with these characters, it's also fun to challenge yourself to create new ones that become protagonists of your own story. After all, this game's about you, your decisions, your destiny. We know what Rick said and did in this world. How about you? In a way, in a way, the thing that I think Free League did in an attempt to sell this game, which is partner with AMC, snag up this IP, I think is actually like the thing that for a lot of people is like the reason they don't buy it. If you strip away, and maybe I'm saying the same thing as Dave Thomavor says in the video 6 months ago. I didn't watch it yet, but just based on the title, if you strip away all the Walking Dead stuff, this is a great role playing game. It's a great role playing game, and I really mean it. If you are new to solo play, take a look at this. And also here you can see the interplay, and this is something that's a little bit hard to explain, teach to people who are new to solo play. There's an interplay in games that have solo supplements. There is an interplay, an interaction between the core rules, the non-solo part of these books, and the solo ones. I know that's fairly obvious, like you're going to have to look at tables and stuff, but it's not always clear how much they should interact with each other. I think that this book, you're going to see right away as you're reading through this, oh, here is where I need to refer to this section. Okay, I need to make my player character, but I remember in the solo section it says that I can add 2 extra skills. I can add a companion. But you can reference this back and forth and learn how to play this game. And it has just enough. I mean, I guess if there's anything new under the sun that I offer to solo role playing, because I'm not the best at reviewing mechanics. Even making this Year Zero engine was one of the most humbling experiences of my life, because you realize this is the first time that I've really tried to like make statistically useful mechanics, or like mechanics in one of my games or supplements that like I tested and the percentages were where I wanted them. Like I want in this Year Zero supplement, it's like 2% more, well, I guess 4% more likely that you'll roll a yes than a no. And I wanted that, right? But then when you make that decision, you have to align that with like, okay, well then if you want that to be the odds, then you have to have this many dice. And this is like what if when you roll a success, it's this. And then I say, well, wait a minute, I'd need 4 dice to do that. I only want 3 dice because I want you to use the dice also for an oracle. But then if I change it to 3 dice, then I have only a 46% chance of saying yes. If you have no idea what I'm talking about right now, the point I'm trying to make is there is the car of an RPG and then like what is under the hood. And I think that usually RPG channels are going to talk about one of those two. They're going to talk about like, what does the car look like or what's under the hood? What I'm interested in is like, what does it feel like to drive this car? And as I'm driving through this car, I keep saying to myself, this is the perfect amount of information. There are, even in Free League's repertoire, certainly in other franchises, there are tables just like this called like NPC, generator NPC lists. This has, on this page, there are 30 NPCs, background, expertise, training, issues, gear. There are other ones that have this same amount of words and they have 2 or 3 NPCs. This is just the right amount. There are lots of games that have a stronghold or home base or settlement system. I've even tried making one. It's very difficult. And they're so complicated that I often find myself being like, that's all right. I'll just not do that part. Same thing with vehicles. How many times in games do you see vehicle combat and you're like, that's okay. I don't feel like doing that. This is what it looks like for something to be digestible. And I'm gushing. I don't know where to go from here. I mean, what more is there to say? What more is there to say? It just feels so easy to use. Um, well, I'll tell you why I just sat there and said nothing for 2 seconds. I'm wondering if I want to play this on stream. I mean, the interest in this has to be through the floor, not the ceiling, the floor, because I can't. I don't know many human beings alive in 2024 that are going to log on to YouTube and type "Walking Dead RPG solo. Let's go, yeah, buddy." But I don't care about that. Yeah, this just looks damn good. Okay, so I'll stop myself, okay, because you know how I get, and just say again, the reason why I got this was because I was, looking at different interpretations of the Year Zero system. I'm very happy that I did, obviously. The other game that I'm looking at for its solo, which I think is a bit more remedial than this, is Twilight 2000. And I also am considering getting a set of Mutant Year Zero. I can't think of the name of it now. It's Mutant Year Zero has. Let me see if I can bring it up. Mutant Year Zero Zone Wars, which, if I'm not mistaken, this mosquito is back. Was that which, if I'm not mistaken, has I think it is 1 to 4 players. Yeah, to play Zone Wars with up to 4 players and even more mayhem, add robot. Okay. They have Sundrop paint. The miniatures actually look like gorgeous. Gorge. Now I don't think I think they're just sun dropped or whatever. But yeah, look at the set it comes with. And I'm almost certain that there are. Yep, solo rules right there. So this is like $70 right now, US on Amazon. I'm thinking about getting this. But I just want to have like different options that I can try to refine my Year Zero solo rule set with. And I also wanted to say, again, I was hoping to have those rules posted now, but they're being approved by drive-through. The Year Zero +1 solo rules will be $3. It's only 13 pages, but I think there's a lot of bang to the buck, if that is the phrase. It's not. But also, if you reviewed Museum of Humankind for me, that game has been on ice. It's not gone. I'm actually looking at the final cover for it. But because I sort of a while ago had some people review and give feedback to that, and then I said, hey, I'll get you a copy of this game for free when it comes out, and now it looks like that'll be 2025. If you did that for me, go ahead and shoot me an email, manalone at proton.me, protein.meet, and let me know if you'd like a copy of it. I'll send you a code for a free download of it on drive-through. Just let me know the date that you filled out the survey so I could look it up. But otherwise, my next video will be on that. It's a win, lose, or draw. I think that some of you will see this Year Zero solo conversion and say, why did this have to exist? I think some of you will say, wow, this is great. I want to use this as my solo Oracle all the time. And some of you will say, well, not for me, or not perfect for everything, but it has some really interesting ideas here. And I really do have a lot of confidence in that because I really thought about it. The fact that it's 13 pages is actually an accomplishment for me, because I want to write 130 pages of everything, but I really punish myself to be concise and to let go of some of my babies to get it to print. And even then, it's still a bit verbose in some section. Anyways, if you would like to see any games soloed with Year Zero solo supplement of mine. Please let me know which games you'd like. Please don't vote for Dragonbane, not because I think it would be interesting to use it on Dragonbane, but that is not a Year Zero engine game. And also, I don't feel like doing the simultaneous tasks of like converting that as well. But if you're interested to see this, that'd be cool. I know that at least one of you is just going to say Mork Borg. That's fine. But otherwise, thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you. I don't know. I'll never see you. You'll never see me. I'll never see. Bye.